Welcome back to another episode of the Traveling Investor Show. This is a place where we're going to teach you how to grow your mind, your body, your wallet. This is a place where you're going to learn all about yourself, about life, about the way the world works. And sitting here to my right is a gentleman that I met, when did we meet? About 2 years ago?
Yeah.
We met 2 years ago. And this is also the power of networking. But before we go into all that, and before we start talking with this guy, just to want to share with you a couple of things. November 2nd is my mastermind, which this guy's going to be at. November 2nd. It's an incredible thing that we're going to have because I've invited people like Tom, the head of the Economic Development Committee of Boca Raton, attorneys, CPAs, leaders of the community, leaders of industry. We're all going to come November 2nd, and we're going to mastermind together. So what I want you to do, I want you to come prepared. So write down 3 things that work for you in your business, personal life, and spiritual life. And then I also want you to write down 3 things or 3 challenges that you might have in those 3 different areas. Come prepared, because in the mastermind, the way it works is first we're going to give something to the group, and they're going to ask back, right? The ask is, hey, this is my challenge. Let's all work on it. The give is something that works for you, and it could be anything, but something that you got to give so that there's a balance in the mastermind. Just like anything else in life, you got to have balance, right? So you got to give, and then you can ask to get. So write this down. The link to register is ttimastermind.eventbrite.com. That's ttimastermind.eventbrite.com, and it's only $97. And if you're hemming and hawing about $97, well, you know what? And if you can't afford $97, you can't afford not to be there.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. That's a good way of looking at it.
Because the information and the people that you're going to be rubbing elbows with could take you to the next level. You know, there's a saying, success by proximity, right? Your success is predicated by the people that are closest to you. So who are you rubbing elbows with, right? Who are you connecting with?
Absolutely.
Right?
If the $97 is going to be a problem, then you definitely need to be at this thing.
And here's my guarantee. 100% guarantee, money back guarantee.
Ooh,
if you walk out, if you walk out of my mastermind without one idea that can help you take one of those 3 areas to the next level, I'll give you your $97 cash on the spot.
Can't beat that.
You can't beat that.
Because you're confident. Because you know.
I know.
You know.
I know exactly what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
No one's going to give me their money back.
No.
You show up, you're gonna walk out of there walking on cloud 9.
Like a new man.
Like a new man, new woman, new person. Woo. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Also, I want to say to the people in the Bahamas, we want to, our hearts go out to you. But not only that, my Rotary Club here in Boca, we connected to the Rotary in the Bahamas, and we're doing a food drive. We need shovels, pitchforks, we need food, baby wipes, all that kind of stuff. Friday, we're putting all that stuff in a container on a boat, and that boat is going to be protected by the Coast Guard, and it's going to get to the Rotary Club in the Bahamas, and it's going to end up in the actual people's hands.
That's beautiful.
So,
So I'm gonna bring it by a bunch of canned goods.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, bring it by. You can bring it to my house. Yeah. You can bring it to the Renaissance Hotel.
Done.
It's awesome, man.
Done.
So I already have a friend of mine. She brought a bunch of stuff. It's in my car. It's ready. So if you want, feel free. Bring it down. We'd love to to have you guys participate in that. So enough said with that. I like to talk a lot about mindset, because it's probably the basis, or it is the basis, for anything that you want to accomplish in life.
Everything.
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 You want to meet a woman? You got to have the right mindset when you go out.
You have to.
Right?
You got to have the winning mentality.
You got to have the winning mentality. You got to have confidence.
Can't be defeated before you leave the house.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got to have that confidence. You got to have that mindset when you're going out for a job interview.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Right? When you're talking to investors, when you want to raise capital.
Confidence.
Confidence, right?
Yeah.
When you're talking to clients, right? Tom's a mortgage broker. Tom and I met 2 years ago. I threw a networking event, It was in the library. It was a meetup group, commercial meetup. It started pouring that day.
Yeah, it was pouring.
The AC in the library didn't work. Not the AV didn't work, and I'm sitting there running around getting stuff. Tom showed up with another guy.
Yeah.
And when we sat down, we talked for a little bit.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 other people there.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then we met up again.
We ran into each other at a networking event.
At a networking event.
That's right. Down at Funky Buddha.
That's right.
Sky Bar.
That's right. And then he went and he did the refi for my hotel. He brought the lender that refied us, and now we have ownership. So thanks to this guy, he was there,
Yep.
and now he's dealing with the seller of the property as well.
Yeah.
And we won't go into that.
We won't go into that.
Well, God knows what he'll do with
Right.
us and where he'll take
Right.
it.
But it shows you the power of putting yourself out there. The more people that you talk to, the more people that you meet, the more breaks you get.
Absolutely.
The way things go your way. That's life. So
Absolutely.
you got to get out.
Absolutely. You got to go out. You got to network. You got to meet people.
Absolutely.
But as we've always talked, right? You got to go out. You got to be laser focused on your networking.
Yes.
You got to know who you want to meet, right? Because if you're just going to and we live in a community where every single night there's 18 different networking gigs.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
I got burned out.
You can get lost in them. You can get burnt out in them. You could lose your job and your income because of them. Because if you're not focused,
Yeah.
you're going out every night to 3 or 4 or 5 different
Right.
places.
Drinking,
Drinking, right? And
Yeah.
and it's so you got to be laser focused on who you need to meet, right? Who you need to meet, what they can do for you, and what you can do for them,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And more importantly, what you can do for them.
So then he and I, we started talking, and we started building a relationship, and we built a friendship. And on social media, he's got the balls to say that he gives good advice.
I do. I really do. I give really great advice. We don't need to get into that now. Maybe if someone has a question, we can try it out.
Yeah, no, you know what?
Someone's there.
Absolutely. So is this a function that people help each other? Is what a function? Sal, if you could repeat that question. Dawn, is there any other places I can bring stuff to? If you're local in the Boca area, if you can bring them Friday lunchtime, noon to the Boca Raton Renaissance Hotel, we'll be there. Where is this donation center for drop-off? Again, if you're talking local here, you can bring it to the Renaissance Hotel in Boca on Friday between 12 and 1 o'clock. We'll be more than happy to accept that. Absolutely. Jay, what's up, brother? Happy Hump Day, fellas. Nice to see you also. Jay Webb, he's a friend of Julie.
Nice.
Is it hard to put? It is so hard to put myself out there. I am so shy.
Got a question.
How do you put yourself out there without being shy? Wow.
Ooh.
That's awesome, Kelly.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking. You want to start on this one?
How do you put yourself out there being shy? I'll tell you what. You do it little by little. I'm an extroverted guy, but sometimes when I walk into weird settings where I don't know anybody and there's all these people there, it can be a weird place for me where I actually get shy for maybe the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden it just wears off. No big deal. So, but I know the feeling, and it sucks. Mm-hmm. So I would say little by little. Maybe go to small networking events,
right,
ones where there's only 3 or 4 people, right? And then work your way up. Instead of walking into a room of 200 people and being like,
blown away.
Holy crap! What do I do now?
Sure,
right?
Sure.
So improv's great. I ran you an improv one night.
That's right.
Improv is a fun, supportive way to let loose and get out of your shell a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And everybody's there making faces and having a great time. So it's just you're just one of them.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Start off small. With the advent of Meetup.com, right? This great organization that started. You can go and find groups that have the same interests as you do. So right then and there, you already have commonality.
That's how we met.
With people, right?
Yeah.
Commonality with the people that you're going to meet. So you can just say, hey, so what brought you here? Well, I love birds. I love books. I love real estate. I love whatever. And you can start talking. I'm a big introvert. I'm one of those people that when I go into a networking room, I even before I hit the door, I'll turn around and make a U-turn and head back home and not even go to the.
You wouldn't know that about this guy,
right?
Honestly,
Many
I would
times,
never know that.
Many times I've been by myself, and this is the key, Kelly, which I want you to listen to. Many times I've been by myself going to a networking event, and I would say I probably know a couple of people there, but I would get to the door and I'm like, just the idea of walking in and watching everybody clicking together and talking together like they've known each other for 100 years.
Yeah.
And then who am I to come in by myself, and who am I going to talk to?
Yeah.
So first, if you go to a meetup, you know everybody's there talking about the same thing, right? So that's a good thing. What I would suggest also is when you're going to these networking events, go with a friend, go with someone, go with a wingman, a wingwoman, a wing person, right? We talk so much about that.
So much easier.
So much easier because automatically you're talking to somebody.
Yeah.
So you're not that loner, that one person.
You have a crutch too. You have your friend that's gonna chuckle at your silly jokes, and
exactly.
It's just comforting to have them there.
Exactly. And sometimes you just got to do it. Sometimes you just got to get out and you got to do it.
Just do it.
And I sometimes I say to myself as well, dude, just go and do it. Just go and do it. And I'm by myself, right? So a lot of times I'll take my wife with me, right? Maybe we'll go out and we'll do some stuff together. But try to have a wing person, a partner to go out with. It makes it a lot easier. And a lot of times when people are shy, they don't know what to talk about, right?
Yeah.
So I use this, I teach with my clients, right, about networking. When you go to network, there's this little thing that I remember. It's called HOME, home. And if you don't know what to talk about or what to ask a person, just follow the HOME outline. So H stands for home. So if I'm meeting Tom for the first time, so Tom, where are you from originally?
Beautiful.
Home,
Boom.
right? Boom.
Yeah.
Now, if Tom's like, you know what, I've been in Florida, I hate it, it's up, blah, blah, doesn't want to talk about where he's from, I'll move on to O. What is O? Occupation. So, Tom, what do you do? How long have you been doing that? And just start asking the other person questions. And this is great if you're shy, because if you're shy, you don't want to talk, just ask questions. Let the other person talk.
Let the other person talk.
Let the other person talk.
You end up maybe not even saying anything, the whole conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So that's O. M is for marriage. Are you married?
Yeah.
Do you have any kids? Blah, 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 blah. E is for everything else we didn't talk about. Right? So that's a good way of going if you're shy.
I like that.
Home. Right? All right, so let's see. What else we got here? How do networking events work?
How do networking events work?
Yeah.
So
People
go there with their business cards and they walk around to each other and they shake hands and say, what do you do? And someone tells them what they do, and then you tell them what you do, and yada, yada. But there's a right and a wrong way to network, too.
That's right.
Which we can get into if you'd like.
Sure.
Me personally, I like to find out, what can I do for you? Who are the perfect people for you to meet? If it's not me, who can I bring here in this room to meet you? Right? And put it on them. You create value. And they'll ask you what you do, and they'll want to know. And they might not. It doesn't matter, though. If you're out creating value, though, that energy is always paid back to you. So I think that's what I look to do. I try to provide value.
Absolutely. That's a great one, because there's two types of people that go to networking events, right? The one type of person will walk up to you and say, hi, can I have your business card? Thank you. Take your business card and give you theirs, and then they'd walk away.
Yeah, they don't even say bye.
They don't even say bye. They don't even want to know your name. They don't even care who you are. They just want a business card to put in their database, so they can say, I got 5,000, 10,000 people in my database, but I've never said a single word to any of them. Right?
Yeah.
And then there's the other type of person, like Tom, that goes out and understands that networking is all about giving value. Right? It's all about adding value to somebody else. How can I add value? And I'm just like you. I walk up when I go to these big events in New York and here and everywhere, and we're talking, and I met one time this woman. She was working for this pharmaceutical company, and they were looking for someone to fund this type of project. And I just met somebody who wants to fund that type of pharmaceutical company. I said, hold on, don't go anywhere. I brought him there, boom, boom, made the marriage. Thank you, have a nice day. I add value to people.
Absolutely.
Because my motto is, the more success I can help achieve for other people, it'll just come.
Absolutely. And if these people are above you, say you're feeling intimidated about where you are on the ladder of things. If you have two people that have a lot of value, and they don't know each other, and you introduce these two people, simply by doing that, it brings you up.
Mm-hmm.
You just now created value for two important people.
Absolutely.
And they don't forget that.
Yep, that's great. That's awesome. Let's see here. How can I find networking events? Google them. Go to the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Right? Join the Chamber of Commerce in your area.
Facebook.
Yes, Facebook events.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh my God.
What's that, like Eventbrite, or what are those sites that people use?
Oh yeah, everywhere. Meetup.com.
Meetup.
Boom.
Meetup.
Network.
Big time.
They're awesome. So this thing in November you were talking about, is that a function that people help each other? Yes. So if you've ever read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in there, he's
Top
got
5 book.
Yeah, amazing book. In there, he talks about the power of the mastermind, the power of 2 or more brains working to solve a problem, right? To come up with a solution, a creative solution. So when we put in a room for an entire day people from different backgrounds, from different walks of life, industries, perspectives, right? Different level of successes and challenges, and you're in that room as well, and you pose your challenge to these people, and we've got 10, 15 people working to come up with solutions for your challenges. How awesome is that?
Yeah. How can you not benefit from that?
And for $97.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what that mastermind is. It's going to be a group of people working together to figure out solutions for challenges that you bring to the room. It's that simple. Right?
I've seen it in action. It's fantastic.
Yes. You know, when you think about it, when you're growing up as a kid, right, and you have parents and you're in somewhat of a functional family, I guess, right? I don't know how many functional families there are anymore in this country, but you know, I remember growing up, right? My parents, they would always sit at the table and they would talk. They would talk about the finances. They would talk about moving forward. You know, my dad's business. You know, real estate, this and that. How are they going to get bigger and bigger and bigger? And that was, for me, that was the original mastermind group, right? It was the two of them saying, okay, here's a challenge, right? We want to buy a bigger house. A bigger house costs X, Y, and Z. This is our income now. How are we going to do? What are we going to do? And they started masterminding together.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the original mastermind. So that's awesome. So that's November 2nd. TTImastermind.eventbrite.com.
Don't miss it.
Let's see. Destiny. I was told going to networking events with a friend is not a good idea. I appreciate that, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a good idea if you're just going to talk just the two of you, right?
That's what they do. If you and I go to an event and all we do is talk to each other,
it's pointless.
What do we do? It's stupid, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It totally defeats the purpose. But I'm bringing my friend, and he's coming with me, but we both understand that this is a place to network, right? But we're starting off together so we don't feel uncomfortable, but we can break off into different branches.
Absolutely.
And then we can come back and we can go, right? So yeah, it's not a good idea if you're just gonna wrap together for the entire time.
And the branch thing happens naturally. So you'll both meet somebody, and then all of a sudden you'll find yourself in a group of 4 or 5, and then you just branch off. You might even still be standing next to each other, but you know, she might be facing this way and you're facing this way. So you don't have to be doing that, and you can be doing your own thing too.
Right.
And it'll just happen naturally.
Yep. Awesome. Great question. Let's see. Brittany, is going to networking events good for looking for a new job?
I don't think so, and I'm just basing it off of the fact that I've seen people come up to me and I say, "What do you do?" And they're like, "Well, I'm actually looking for a job," and I haven't been able to help anybody yet. So you know what? Maybe it is an okay idea, because you never know who you're going to meet, and there's business owners. So I take that back. It is a good idea. It's just what I've seen of it looked like it didn't work. So I'm not completely sold on it though.
Right. So maybe it's right. So it's not the fact that somebody needs a job. Going to a networking event is a bad idea. It's the process. It's the way you come forward to people, right? It's always about that first impression. It's always about that first thing, right? So I'll give you an example. When I started getting involved in multifamily, right, my pitch was, yeah, I'm in real estate. I buy apartment buildings and blah 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 blah, and it didn't really hit any tones. I kind of tweaked it a little bit, right? So now when somebody asks me, what do? I say, well, I help people create passive recurring income so they can go do what they're passionate about.
Boom.
Completely different.
Completely different energy.
Right. It's just a way of packaging who you are and what you're saying. So if you're going to a networking event and you're looking for a job, maybe you don't start off by saying, yeah, I'm looking for a job.
Yeah.
Right.
That's usually what they do. And they kind of look a little desperate, and that's where I think it falls apart.
Exactly.
So if you lead in like this, confidently with what you can do for them, which you specialize in, it's amazing.
So So when you're at a networking event and somebody says, well, what do? You don't say, I'm looking for a job. You say, well, my specialties lie in bada, 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 boom. Right?
Yeah.
And now I'm looking for the best place where I can serve and add value to.
Love that.
Right? Completely different than I'm looking for a job.
It's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Totally different energy, different way of thinking, right?
And if I was looking for a job and I heard that, I would be prone to hiring you, whereas opposed to the other person that comes up kind of like, I'm looking for a job, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't know. This guy's, he's got his head on straight.
Right? You put a little different twist on it. So we got so on the off chance I find someone that needs people to work for them, do I bring a resume with me? So on the off chance I find someone that needs people to work for them, no. Don't bring a resume.
No.
Don't do anything. Right? The networking event is kind of the courting event. You're getting to know them.
You get their card, their email. You email them the next day.
Right.
Hey, it's great meeting you. Here's my resume. If you're there with your resume handing it out, you look like someone handing flyers out in the parking lot.
Right, exactly. Like a car dealer looking for the next deal, right? Here you go. Hey, I got $5 off, right? So remember, it's the perspective. It's how you want to present yourself, who you want to be in that person, right? So put yourself in the person that's hiring you. Put their hat on. That's why I wear my hat. Put their hat on and think, who would you hire? Someone that, like Tom said, that just comes and gives them the paper, or someone that thinks creatively.
Yeah.
Right? And this is and by the way, this is a mastermind that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Right? This is a mastermind. This is a live mastermind that you're getting on the air, and let me know if it helps. Okay, Brittany? So good luck with that. So take the business card, take their business card as well. You can give them yours, but before you give them yours, take theirs. Why? If they say we'll get in touch with you, you're leaving control in their court. You have their card now as well. You can follow up tomorrow, the next day, whenever you want. You're in control.
Which conveys persistence and resilience as well.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you can't get in touch with them, they have no idea how resilient you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Taking so many notes. Thank you, guys. You're awesome, Brittany. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening.
These questions are great. Keep them coming.
Hey, travelers, welcome back. Nitzan Moser here, the Traveling Investor, and you're listening and watching the Traveling Investor Show. And I'm here with my man, Tom Zaimes.
What up?
Tom is a mortgage broker. If you need a great commercial broker, do you also do residential or just commercial?
I can do a little residential.
Residential, but mainly commercial.
Right.
He's also a guy that gives great advice. So follow him on Facebook. Follow him on Facebook.
Impeccable advice. Hopefully I'm giving some good advice here tonight.
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. So before we broke, by the way, Brittany, you can take a lot of notes. That's awesome. This is going to wind up as a podcast on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and all those other platforms. So just search it out there, and then you can listen to it as often as you want. You can go back 3 years and listen to all the different podcasts with all the different interviews that I've had with some of the most successful people on the planet. So take a look at that. Let's see. We got Alex. How many days after an interview should I follow up with an employer?
After an interview.
After an interview. Oh, a job interview. That's a good question.
I'm out of practice. I haven't been in that market in years.
Yeah, I haven't been in that market in years, but I'll tell you, you don't want to seem too anxious.
So it's like when you get a girl's phone number, you don't want to call her the same night or 9 in the morning the next day, right? It's a little too much.
It's a little too much. But what I would suggest is before you leave the interview, be bold and set a goal for you and for the person hiring you and say, hey, by when will I be hearing from you?
I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
I would like to set a goal for us to speak on this and this day.
Yeah.
Right.
When will I be here?
Which day would be best for you, Monday or Wednesday, and what time, 10 a.m. or 2 p.m.
Love that.
Right? So that also gives them like, oh, wow, this person is serious, right?
This person's assertive.
Right, they're assertive.
They're
They know what they want. They need to get, and
Yeah.
you do it in a nice, calm way, respectful way. But there's no reason why you can't go out there
Yeah.
and ask them. Now they can respond to you in any way that they
Yeah.
want to, right? They can say that's great. How about we do this, and or they can say we'll get in touch with you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah.
You know, and then I would call them the next
Love it,
day.
though.
Then I would call them the next day at that point.
That's so strong. You might be on the fence, and that might get you hired.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That little assertiveness. Right.
Absolutely.
You know, people always say, you know, think out of the box.
Yeah.
Right? I like to take the box and throw it away.
Get rid of it.
You just get rid of the box.
Gone.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go completely somewhere else with it.
Right.
Right. So hopefully that helped you, Alex. Should a person take notes in a networking event? Great question. I'm going to let my man Tom here answer that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think what you want to do is build rapport. So you're building a friendship, a rapport with this other person. So, you know, if you were out meeting someone, having a normal conversation, would you be taking notes? No, that just doesn't seem natural to me. So, you know what I mean? It's just you're just having a conversation.
I do, however, I have
Wow.
I have a different view.
Oh, whoa, we're getting rid of the box.
I have
Huh?
a different, because I'm gonna lean over here real quick, and I'm gonna show you. I want to show you my business card. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see it right here. Just waiting for it to pop up on the screen. But if you see my business cards, there's a space on the bottom, that white space. It says that's a space for notes.
He's right. This is a good idea.
That's a space for notes.
Solid idea.
Because, and I'll tell you why. Because also, if you look at my business card, I have a picture, right? So if you don't remember my name, but you remember my picture, and I have a picture, you may remember what we talked about.
Absolutely.
Right? But if we're talking, and I'm really interested in what you want to say, but I'm also building rapport, and I also know that I'm going to call you in the next couple of days, but I've got 20 other business cards, and I'm sorry, your business card, I don't know if I'm just talking here, right? But whoever I'm talking to doesn't have a picture on their business card. It's going to be hard for me to remember John Snow.
Yeah.
And what we talked about.
Right.
So I will take a couple of notes. I'm not going to sit there and word everything, but you know.
Right.
So where were you born?
What, like glasses?
Right.
Mustache?
So where were you born?
All right, Pittsburgh.
Ah, dude, from Pittsburgh. Boom, Pittsburgh, right there. Boom,
Yeah.
right. And then we talk, and if we get, you know, if we had a great conversation and we talked about, you know, the World Series,
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk away and write World Series.
Look
had a
at
great
that.
conversation.
I love that. That's clever.
So that
Yeah.
when I email you or when I call you, I can refer back to him and say, hey,
Yeah.
Tom, remember, hey, it was nice meeting you. Yeah, remember we had a great conversation. We talked about the World Series. You know, you told me you lived in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
What does that now do for you?
Yeah.
You're like, holy shit.
Feel like an old friend's calling me all of a sudden.
Right.
You know?
And this guy listened.
This guy paid attention.
He paid attention.
Yeah.
He did all this. So I'm a very firm believer, especially if you're going around, you're networking like we do. We network a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we need to go out and we need to, and it's a system, right? But also, I also have another system when you're networking, right? Remember the two types of people that we talked about that hand you business cards?
Yeah.
The one that just goes, here's my card, can I have your card? Thank you, goodbye. They go in one pocket. All those people that I'm just going to put into my database that I'm not going to talk to, that really don't add value and I can't add value to them,
Yeah.
they go in one pocket. And then the people like Tom and whatnot, boom, 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 they'll go in another pocket.
Yeah.
So you separate the two, right? Now I have a different system. So there's this app, and there's tons of apps, right? But this app called Camcard that I use, right? What I do is I get your business card, I'll take notes on the business card, and then it snaps a photo of the business card and automatically populates your info.
The notes too?
The notes stay on the card, and then
Right.
I can download the notes and type in the notes what I want into that.
I got you.
And then it uploads directly into my contact base. But now I can put, like when I go to a networking, when I fly to one of these events, right? It's a 3-day event, and I'll put, you know, the Traveling Investors Summit, people to talk to first, and then everyone else. And I'll just create those two, and I'll put the cards in those different groups.
Yeah.
So it's still the same concept,
That's the same concept.
just digitally.
Digital. Yeah.
You want to separate the people that just, hey, here's my card, and
It's good.
the ones that you want to build a relationship with immediately.
Absolutely.
Right?
You'll see. There's people you go and you're like, all right, I like this guy as a person.
Right.
I would be friends with this guy, and we have common industries in common.
Mm-hmm.
That's a home run. Those go in their own pocket.
Yep.
The other people, you have no rapport. This guy didn't take any time to get to know me.
Exactly.
Forget him.
Exactly. So hope that answered your question with that. Let's see here. So Alex is saying, I'm only asking because I have had employers ghosted me after an interview. Yeah, hey man, it happens. It happens. If you don't set up a time before you leave, call them the next day. Just say, hey, I'm following up. Just seeing where you're at and so forth. Right. It shows you're assertive. It shows that you're not waiting for anybody else to take control.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're in control.
Ghosting's it's like they're afraid to tell you you're not hired. Obviously, you're not hired if you're ghosted. You know?
Yeah.
But they don't have the balls to say it.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Maybe you don't want to work there anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else are they hiding?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here we got one. Is it a bad idea to take notes on your phone? When you're talking to people, yes. I would have to say yes.
At a networking event or just whatever?
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. If you're in a networking event and you're talking to someone, do not take notes on your phone. It's just my shtick. But if I'm talking to somebody,
what if they say, "Hey, do you mind? This is good stuff. Do you mind if I
take
some notes?"
You know what? That I'm okay with.
Right?
That I'm okay with. If they tell me first, right? Because what's the predisposition when somebody's looking down there?
Right.
They're texting.
They think they're not paying attention.
Right. Right. They're not paying attention.
So you have to say it. Yeah. This is good stuff.
This is awesome, man.
It depends what you're talking about. We had a conversation at one time, remember?
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about something, and I said, hold on, and I took a note. And I don't even remember what it is, but I could go find it.
That's right.
And then we'd have it. But
That's
there's
right.
something there, a good idea.
It was a night full of ideas.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have to revisit that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, Tom has his show on Facebook. He does a lot of live broadcasts. He does a lot of interviews as well. And one of the main reasons why I wanted Tom here also, and we're going to have Tom on the show a lot more because the rapport between us really gets going and some good stuff comes flying out of this. It's a good mastermind.
Oh, yeah.
But Tom is one of those people that understands mindset, understands the correct mindset, understands how to get into the mindset, and all that. So I want to talk about that, because last week I had Felice here, she's a yoga teacher, she's a Reiki instructor. She does all that kind of esoteric work, healing, all that kind of stuff, working with the body and the mind and the spirit. The body and the mind have to be aligned, right? You can't be running towards a goal and your mind is looking the other way.
Running the other way.
You
got two engines.
Pulling, right?
Yeah.
So in your perspective, in your world, how do you get the mind and the body to run in the same direction?
Well, that's a great question.
I told you, I only ask great questions.
Question.
I only ask good questions.
So I think the first thing that's important is to understand why it's important to have your mindset right, because your mindset is everything. It's everything. So getting lined up with what you want and mindset. For me, it's all about creating a high vibe place for myself emotionally. Our vibes are our emotions, right? It's important to have those elevated as much as possible. We can't stay there all the time,
right?
But be there as much as possible. That's where everything great happens. That's where your great ideas come from. That's where you run into people, fortunately, at a networking event like we did, right? Mm-hmm. That's where things happen for you, in that place. And if you're in a place of frustration and despair, you're just going to get more evidence of that in your life. And it's kind of like the rich get richer, the poor stay poor type thing. So you got to be very aware of your mindset at all times. And if you catch yourself in a poor mindset, which I do every day, not a day goes by that my mindset doesn't slip.
And isn't it crazy how that happens?
Yeah.
And you ask yourself, like, why? Why is this happening?
What is it?
Where did it come from? Why are these thoughts there?
Some fear, something negative. Then you just go down this path, whatever. Mm-hmm. But you recognize it, you stop it immediately before it gains too much negative momentum, and you get yourself back into a high vibe state. And we can talk about ways to do that.
How do you become aware of the negative talk? Let's start with that, because a lot of people just go day to day, and they're living their lives, they're waking up, doing, going through the motion, and they're not aware of what's being said.
Right. So start paying attention to what you say to yourself, because the way you talk to yourself is very powerful. How many times do we say stuff like this, like, man, I just can't catch a break? Something like that. Or nothing's going my way, or everything is difficult. Why is everything so hard? You're saying these things either whether it's out loud or in your head, and you're reinforcing your condition, and you're staying locked in that negative state. So being aware of the self-talk and choosing other methods of speaking to yourself.
That's right.
I catch all the breaks. Things go my way. Even when things look like they're not going my way, they end up going my way. I always come out on top. You start talking to yourself like that, changes awesome. Your whole energy.
That's awesome. That's so true, man. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
So you got to be aware, right? So as soon as, it's habit. So we do it unconsciously. Yeah. It's the unconscious actions.
Yeah.
So those unconscious actions have to become conscious. We have to consciously think about them and consciously change them. And I call it the conversation.
Yeah.
Right? We have a conversation with ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. So we got to change the dialogue. We got to change the conversation. Right?
Yes.
Just like you said.
You can change create the habit. You can change the subconsciousness of it by turning it into a habit with repetition. And then it kind of shifts into a different area. Yeah.
Absolutely. I was reading something that said it's very good to record affirmations in your own voice and then play it at night as you go to sleep.
I never tried that.
Because your mind and your subconscious hear yourself talking.
So do you say it as
me? I am
this? Or would you say it in your own voice as like, you are a badass, you are a manifester?
I am a manifester, I'm the best.
Okay.
Everything comes to me easily.
Right.
Because it's in your voice, your mind says this is me.
Gotcha.
The subconscious says this is me, right? And it's a lot more powerful when it's in your own voice. Yeah.
If it's somebody else's voice, then they would say you.
But also when you're listening, when your subconscious mind and your conscious mind is listening to somebody else say it, you can always sit there and go, yeah, it's them. It's them. It's them. He's teaching it. He says it. It might work for him.
Okay.
But when your subconscious mind is listening and it's your voice, it's me.
That's awesome.
It's me that's doing it. I'm the successful one. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
That's awesome. Try that. And when you were talking about high frequency and high vibration, I like to shake.
What do you mean?
I stand up and I start shaking my body up and down, up and down, up and down.
Okay.
When I was in India for a year, I was in an ashram and we did this thing called Kundalini meditation. So Kundalini is the sleeping serpent of energy that goes from your coccyx bone all the way up to here. And they say when that lights up and energizes and connects to the universe, enlightenment and all that happens. But the Kundalini energy, you start shaking and you lose yourself to the shake. So your body starts to shake. You force the shake. And then you really start getting into it.
Kind of go with the flow.
You go with the flow and you shake. But the point is that positive vibrations, frequencies are high. Negative vibrations in the energy world are very low, very slow, very deep, very down.
Okay.
So the more you shake, the more you're shaking off that negativity and you're going to that high positive place.
Love that.
Yeah, so it's awesome. So I do that a lot.
Well, motion creates emotion in general. So moving.
That's right.
So you do the shakes. I might just like do some jumping jacks or jump up and down like as I would if I was skipping rope. Or I like this too. This is that's empowering. It's like you beat your chest. It just takes you to like a primal place. Yep. Yeah. You're like, come on, let's go.
That's it. That's awesome, man. Let's grab some questions here. Let's see what we got. Let's see. What do you think about voice recording the conversation? What do you think about that?
At a networking event?
Yeah.
Not unless you're specifically talking about something like the guy's like, okay, I got something really profound to tell you. Then you say, you know what, man, maybe let me record this. Once again, it's got to be with permission. It's got to be out in the open, or else it's going to look creepy.
Right. And personally, I wouldn't want anybody recording me. at a networking event. I don't know what they're going to use it for, or how they're going to use it, or
Right.
whatnot. That's just me.
Or what might come out of your mouth.
Exactly. Does your guest have a show here on this station? My guest does not have a show here on his station. You'll be able to see him frequently on this station, on this show right here. You can see him on Facebook. What's your Facebook handle?
Facebook. Just Tom Zaimes.
Spell your last name.
Zaimes.
There you
I'll
go.
pop right up right after
There you go.
ZAI.
And I just get 10% of whatever comes from that relationship.
Got you.
See?
Instagram.
There you
at
go.
Tom Zaimes. Yeah.
There you go. Let's see here. How in touch with ourselves do we need to be successful? I like that.
Big time. Completely in touch with yourself. The more, the better.
The more, the better. That's right. Right. Why?
If you're not in touch with yourself, then you're out of whack. You're out of alignment. You don't know what you're doing.
Right.
In a sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you're not connected to yourself, you don't know what you're passionate about. You don't know what your desires are. You don't know what your why is. And these are three things that every successful person has. What does Elon Musk have that other successful people don't have, or that anybody else has? It's hunger. But he knows what his hunger is. He knows where his passions come from. He knows what his why is, right? So you definitely need to be connected to yourself so you have these understandings.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. To have the awareness of what we talked about, to know my vibe's not right now. I need to change it.
Yep.
You know, I'm not going to walk into this business meeting with this horrible vibe right now. I need to shake it off, go somewhere private right now for 5 minutes and switch the vibe around before I even go into this meeting.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great question. Let's see, Jake. Many people talk about this topic, but what if you work better full forward? I'm not really sure I understand that. Many people talk about this topic, but what if you work better full forward?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means, man. Jake, if you want to come back and kind of like, spread that out a little bit, give it some more meat, we'd love to talk. That is negative self-talk. You're absolutely right. Negative self-talk will always suck you down. Not always easy to have the negative go positive. And if it were easy, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Be thankful for things that aren't easy. It's what separates you from them, or gives you the opportunity to separate yourself from
Absolutely. Be grateful where you are. Be grateful that it's difficult for you, because now it's not the destination that you're going to enjoy.
Yeah.
It's that journey.
Yeah.
Right? Those ups and downs and ins and outs and all that stuff.
Seeing the fruits of your labor.
Absolutely.
It's very fulfilling.
It's fulfilling.
Yeah.
It's the wildest roller coaster you'll ever be on.
Yeah.
The highs and the lows are amazing. Amazing. But you just it's the awareness, the enlightenment that you get from first being aware of the negative talk, from being like, oh my God, I can't believe I've been saying that to myself.
Yeah.
I can't believe, wow. Oh wow. And that suddenly that awareness kind of lightens the load.
Yep.
And now it's your choice if you want to change it or not.
If you see a pretty woman, right, and you're going to ask her out, and you're walking over there thinking to yourself, why would this woman want to go out with me? You're done.
You're done.
It's done. There's no way you're going to say anything cool enough to get this girl interested in you.
So that's also that also goes into goal setting, right? Into goal setting.
Yeah.
When you set goals, you're setting goals as if you've already achieved them, right?
Yeah.
You're putting that picture out into the universe. What does it look like once I've achieved this? This is the picture I want. So when you're walking towards that girl, when you're walking towards that guy, you already have that picture in your mind of what that first date is going to look like, how it's going to end.
Yeah. How she's laughing at all your jokes, looking at you with that twinkle in her eye.
Right.
That's the way you need to be, the vibe you need to bring into that conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why I've got this guy right here. Right?
What's that?
That's why I got Master Yoda right here, right?
Master Yoda.
Master Yoda is there to always remind me that there's no such thing as trying to do something, right? Trying to do something always leaves you with a back door, and you'll fail. Just like when you're walking up to that woman, if you can try to ask her out, or you can go out and ask her out. Right?
Yeah.
You may fail,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
You may succeed, And that's okay too.
Right.
But by trying, you've already failed.
Failure is noble.
Boom. Absolutely.
Noble.
So do or do not, right? Either do it or don't do it, right? It's okay to fail.
Absolutely.
It's okay to fail. You know what's amazing is that when you look at little kids, little children, kids that are learning to walk, learning to crawl, learning to eat, they're failing 1,000,000 times a day.
Over and over again.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
Grabbing something,
they just
putting
laid
it
there and said, "That's it. I'm done.
I'm done.
Not gonna walk.
I'm not going to walk. I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to learn how to use the bathroom. Not going to do any of that. Screw it. I suck. My life sucks. I'm so miserable.
Right.
You know, why was I put on this earth? If they thought that, they'd be dead. And you know,
Dead.
be dead.
Yeah.
But a child doesn't have that thought process in their mind yet, right?
Yeah.
It's put into them
Well,
by
they want it so bad. They know they have to walk.
right.
They know.
Right. They don't even think about it. They just go.
They have to.
They fail to get up. They fail to get up.
Right.
They fail, until, oh, look, I'm walking now.
Yeah.
Then suddenly something happens to us, and we start being very self-conscious and self-aware. And, you know, we're taught by our teachers and family and society that failure is not good.
Yeah.
You got blah. You got, you know, you got a D.
Yeah, you're a loser.
You know, that's where all this BS talk comes in.
Yeah. That's
You
why I
know?
say failing is noble, for the simple fact that you tried.
Mm-hmm. That you went out and you did it.
Admirable.
It had an outcome. The outcome was failure, which
Yeah.
is okay. But now you've learned so much.
Yeah. Have you ever watched someone do something bold and they failed, and you were like, "Wow,
Right.
that dude's got balls."
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You just have this respect for this person, no matter what just happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they went out and they did it.
Did it?
It doesn't matter the outcome.
Doesn't matter.
You go out, you do it.
Yeah.
Right? If it didn't work the way you wanted it,
Yeah.
figure out another way to do it.
Absolutely.
And figure out another way to do it.
Yeah.
Until you achieve what you want to do.
Yep.
Awesome, man. Let's see what else we got here. Not always easy. Yeah, Jenny, I can't have anything on when I sleep. Okay, so do it as you're waking up. Maybe have it as your alarm clock, right? When you know, have your alarm clock ring and then have that play as you're waking up. The point is, before you're going to sleep, before you go to sleep and before you wake up, your subconscious mind is working. It's right there. It's awake. It's absorbing everything. So whatever you put into it will sprout, and that's the best time to do it. So try doing it before you go to sleep, right? And then, you know, 5-10 minutes, and then go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
Or you could have it when you wake up.
I like that. 5 or 10 minutes before. And what you might find happen is, since you've already told yourself, "Oh, I'm not going to try to sleep with this on,"
Mm-hmm.
that resistance, that mental block you have might leave,
Right.
because you didn't create that barrier, right? So you'll start listening to it. You might become so relaxed that you fall asleep.
You
with it
fall
on.
asleep, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Only because you were planning on not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the fear of not being able to do it is no longer in your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, you know, I like to tell my kids this, you know, whatever you think, you're right. If you think you can't fall asleep with this on, you're right, you can't, because you've already, like Tom said, you've already pre-programmed yourself to believe that you're not going to fall asleep. So guess what? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Absolutely.
Our thoughts are self-fulfilling prophecies.
Absolutely.
Whatever you think is going to come true. So
Yep.
if you think, and you're telling me here, hey, I can't have anything when I sleep, well, you know what? You're right. You can't. But if you tell me, you know what, I'm going to make a change now, and I'm going to enjoy listening to my voice while I sleep, guess what? You'll enjoy listening to your voice while you sleep. So let us know how that works out for you, Jenny. Let's see, Jake, you were talking about meditation. I can't figure that out. I work best moving full forward with things. So meditation. Wow, you know what? Meditation. We have this different idea about meditation in the West, here in the West, right? We think that meditation is silencing the mind, is being still. That is a very, that is one form of meditation, right? The stillness of the mind. But we will learn that the mind doesn't really become still. The mind will always play and play and play. The point of meditation is to understand that the mind, what we see, is like a movie, right? It's like a movie reel. And we just watch it. Watch the thoughts happening, right? The thoughts.
Right.
The mindset, this negative bullshit that comes into our heads, right?
Yeah.
If we get attached to it and we let it linger and ponder and sit and whatnot, it'll destroy us. Think about it like perfect example, like Hurricane Dorian. Hurricane Dorian just came and dumped for 2 days on the Bahamas. It didn't move. Imagine your negative thoughts are Dorian, and they're just sitting in one place, and they're hunkering down, and you grab attachments to it, and you start thinking about them. You dive deep into them, and you start creating more movies and more movies about this.
Yeah.
It's never ending. But if you let it go, right? You let it go, then that's kind of meditation, where you're able to stand back and watch the movie of the mind.
Yeah.
Right?
For me, it's more about just slowing the mind down from all that frantic chatter, right? Because the slower your mind is, the closer you are to your higher self, right? So when you're done meditating, you're actually in a more elevated place. And you'll notice that the rest of your day just kind of unfolds differently. Some guy comes up to you that would normally irritate you, and it doesn't bother you. It's just little things like that affect your whole day. So that's why I try to slow down, even just for 10 minutes a day.
Absolutely.
I don't want to lay there and go like this for 30 minutes.
No, you don't have to. But there's so many different ways of doing it, right? There's also, it's just paying attention is what meditation is. It's being in the present. It's being in the moment. It's being in the now. It's being in the here and now.
I do agree, though. I like to visualize, though.
Yes.
What I want when
visualizing is great.
Yeah.
Breathing is incredible, and when you're driving, just focus on your nostrils. Focus on. Hello. And I think we're gone, guys. Oh my God. We're over our time. We're 4 minutes over. Hey guys, I'm sorry, but we got to go. I love you. This is Tom Zaimes. This is what happens when you have a great time. We're 5 minutes over. We will see you next week. Maybe he'll be back. All right. Talk soon. Take care.